It's the upscale version of Fairway.
Minneapolis.
That's why I abolished the flex power.
That's all it is.
They say all the city councilors want it there. All of it,
Here you go, Bruce, some more signatures.
Want to buy it? I don't think that's the new.
For the internet?
Yeah, I have it.
Oh, you mean for your,
Yeah.
Well, we can't help you out there.
I have it on.
oh, I didn't see mine. Letters.
Well, mine hasn't expired, just so.
We may have.
That's what we see.
That's 40.
Not that something that's gonna sleep back there.
Yeah, Zach.
Give you this new one. That's not,
Yes.
that's not the look.
You wanted to, Jess.
No,
No?
on the list of things this week, that's not.
You have to set, you have to set that up.
Yeah.
Vicky, let's see, we're gonna try these next month, the cemetery commission in person.
Are they?
I just wondered if there was,
I have not heard.
what is these email?
Yeah.
We're not covering very much.
No.
It's, you're just voting on paying a few bills, I just. Okay, I think we're the library's about to learn.
That's what this is about.
I was, they did this week.
I don't know, maybe they did.
Pretty much.
Well, I thought they were to open this week.
Okay.
I think last week was
Building up.
Yeah.
I think they started the 8th and
It's ridiculous.
days.
I know they had a board meeting.
Destroy things. So we have to repay.
It's just,
What's the university?
all these stuff, they go, it's not.
I know.
Oh, I know,
Yeah.
yesterday,
Yeah.
it's so limited. There are 5 people trying to talk at once. Then I was like, yeah, so
Yeah, he's the most
and my internet was
Yeah.
Some of
going
them.
off and on,
Stuff.
and I could see my picture there, but it was, picture was frozen. There's
They are.
I
just.
I just called.
So,
I thought, I thought. Yesterday.
Requesting council county get rid of their, around armored vehicle.
Yeah.
Because they was even, you know,
On the
the
other
military
side,
has
it's
taken
all-
many tanks that were law enforcement having.
Do we get it?
Yeah, it,
So marginal.
If it wouldn't have been for that, I guess not accident that day, if there would have been something that,
I just hate those.
that guy ran.
I almost did it though.
Down.
Yesterday.
Otherwise, it's gonna be shootout. No way around it.
I like to write one of those, and I want to shoot one of those BJ guys.
Which, you know, they were all worried about getting stuck that day. Yeah. Lance said those things can't get stuck.
Fine,
But they
I'm
can,
gonna try.
they can,
That's
they can lower the air pressure in the tires.
So they want to, they squat right out then?
Yeah. It's not, he never saw one get stuck. Yeah, I think he probably tried.
I was gonna say, yeah, they want to get rid of it, we should. And then they can get rid of that tool when they want it.
Sure, if there is any chance we get.
We're gonna deal.
Because then they get it relatively cheap.
Free. You said pay to get it here and.
That's my question. I still got my, I swear that I stole that the other day. See,
I forgot the keys, cause the grandkids got it.
Danger.
I never use those, just act like that's your own. Okay.
I saw it.
Sounds like her
I
side
was
job.
like,
Yeah.
maybe that's the assessor's office.
We can't even go, you're all over, that's all over, that's.
FaceTime.
Share with that, couldn't be
Yes.
Alright.
It is 9 o'clock, hey. So we work,
What was the agenda?
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Move to approve the minutes from June 5th and June 9th.
Second. All those in favor, say approving the minutes.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That was good. Communications.
I got a couple of things, maybe try to give you attention to. Well, we're getting to the point of having a 28E agreement on the workforce development, all of the organization. And I think I might have already got a copy yesterday, but it's a boilerplate type of thing we used in Des Moines and Polk County region for a long time. It's already been through a lot of reiteration, so I need to get that delivered. I don't know how long it normally takes to get a response on a contract, but within the next 10 days or so, it's then put back from them. He thinks it's okay, and the other county thinks it's the same thing. And eventually the board will do it. So I'm gonna send that to him like today and just have it. Looks like we're making progress. Gonna get about $1 million probably for the next fiscal year. Cemetery commission with base and bill was all done by email, basically. I think that kind of
Do they have any
format of meeting where you really don't feel like you're doing a lot.
Is there any projects coming up with that?
Well, that's what we're missing. We really have to discuss any future stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
and but they did get the down put, I don't know what it ended up being, around $3,000 carryover.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, they are, I mean, there was some money got spent this year, and they've got some tree removals to do. They've got some tree removals.
But as far as new projects goes, the lack of meetings is really holding us up. I have discussions about that.
This is the third one we've had, you know.
By email.
Well, I mean, what is the average age
What's the average age?
on the board? Is it health issue for some of them?
No.
No,
We only have one person that's on the show.
yeah, no,
Yeah, one
I think Jen just thought that this was, wait, it's spread out.
Well, we were hoping in July we had an in-person meeting and really sit down and go over some projects. The other thing I wanted to bring up is the Veterans Commission. She's gonna have just a few $100 carryover, it looks like. She's gonna be one of the teachers at some new Veterans Coordinator meeting class in Des Moines. And I gave Jessica a copy of this, I just want to see what you guys thought. Jennifer didn't know what to do, it's from Access Systems. Apparently she paid them like $28 for some help on her, the only computer she has is that one sitting on her desk. And she just got a notice saying, well, you should use us, Access Systems, for any problems you have, any virus protection, something like that. And again, remember, it's one computer, $695 a month. A month.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. And we said, geez, you could buy it, you could hire a staff member for that. But,
Wouldn't you be covering your art?
well, that's the question that came up, we didn't know, does the county have and it covers things like, virus protection, proactive actions on problems, cybersecurity.
Contract with them.
That was my comment was, does the county have something she can be a part of as far as?
Because it's a county computer, right?
Yes,
Not a personal.
no.
Yeah, their access systems are cheap and ready to do some stuff.
Yeah, she went from a little $28 fee to what they're us to $600.
They're, yeah,
We just laughed.
Williamsburg would use them. Price they quoted me was ridiculous.
If I could get out of my contract with them, I would.
Are you with Access?
Yes, I
What?
switched a couple of years ago for our printers and
Not
our.
for computers.
No, but our printers and copiers.
What is the county program again? Solutions.
How long you with Access?
It's like for 4 years.
Geez. Now, is she,
But it was cheap.
is she covered through that, or is there something she needs to do if she has?
I'll double check on that.
Yeah, she's gone.
I
on
would
a-
think if she's plugged into the network, she's covered.
She's going on a trip till at least Wednesday evening, she's out of States. I'll email her, tell her to contact you to see what it is that they're doing, that she needs to do. I told her I would be surprised if she wasn't covered by some county program.
On your access, copiers, make sure you cancel your service well in advance, because there's like a renewal on it. If they get that to me, they automatically renew it, I never even signed anything with you guys. So they want, I went with a different company, they want me to pay 10 months of service.
So,
I get it.
okay, I'll contact them, thank you. Yeah, I wasn't sure, I said, there's gotta be someone who's covered in.
Well, and in fact, they just plugged into our system, we want solutions.
Yeah,
Making sure that things are up to date on it, we don't want it, being the weak link.
some other company working some other deal with her on her antivirus or something, okay? It's basically, I'll eventually be coming with a 2883 once Lou sees it, so, okay, I think we have to have that done by September, so. That's it.
Usually lose pretty quick about.
Yeah, this lady we just hired, did all this in Des Moines. She's supposed to be really good at it, gave us a boilerplate thing. She says, can you kind of turn and get back to this in a week? I said, I'm not sure, I'll just have to turn it over to her. It's a rather lengthy document.
But yeah, you can, unless, in case you know.
Sees the problem, yeah. Okay.
Did you people see the Easy Cog got $192,500?
Yeah.
So that's really gonna help with the cash flow for what the executive director was concerned about for July. So I'm thinking, oh, she's gonna be able to do that. Also, had a meeting on Zoom yesterday with Heritage. We had an election of officers. They finally got it figured out that the supervisors that are gonna stay out, I had told them, I said, they want to know if you stay on, sure, stay on, but, you don't know what January is gonna bring.
Right.
Well, they finally got that one figured out, that doesn't run the same fiscal year and calendar year doesn't run the same, so, but we don't have to worry about the new, Kathleen Brennan is gonna be the new chair. Sister Susan, she's been very active in Heritage. And they received, they went nonprofit a year ago. That's why they were asking for. And now they received $750,000. I mean,
But you got a boost.
yeah, kind of a boost, so there'll be more on that, but it is. And they're really trying to, they're not opening congregations yet. But from what I hear, Millersburg and Ravenna is doing well from just having carry out.
I was gonna say, I wonder how they're getting by, because there's so many people that depend on it.
Yeah, no, they're doing carry out.
It's working well here in Marengo too.
Yeah,
So that's
so,
all Wade's had for quite a while.
yeah,
Second.
that's all I have.
Art? I know it wasn't this week, it was last week, that I talked to Aaron, the transportation committee, whatever, met with Easy Cog and the funding they got for the COVID-19 will cover our share of the buses next year, so. We'll have to-
He's on next week, right? Or 2 weeks.
He had to switch it to 2 weeks.
Okay.
Say our getting some of our aid back with.
Yeah, they're gonna get some of it, so he's, I think, they got, he's gonna order one, but wait on the other one because of, we need to find out what's gonna happen there. You know, well, they're only partial on reopening.
Systems Unlimited is not necessarily.
Systems are not coming back.
So they're secure. They've had some people down in Cedar Rapids.
Yeah, so,
So I saw that when we speak to COVID, that we got one new case and one active case. Will we ever down to zero then?
no,
So the new person,
they overlapped, right, I think,
so the new person was not the active person?
right.
No, the new person's the active person.
Yeah,
So then we were at zero.
We may have been in Cedar Rapids, yeah.
but only for a day or two, right?
Maybe a day,
Yeah,
cause it just went up like 2 days ago was all,
so we're at one.
and they still hadn't. Of course, according to the Iowa one, it goes up and down, up and down, up and
Oh, that's
down.
terrible.
Add 2 and then it'll subtract 2 and then.
Yeah, they add them, then they decide, oh wait, they don't really live in this county, they live in this county.
Yeah. I figured it was probably because of the bananas or something, but.
Well, yes, so they
Banana
confuse
colonies, or
that,
Yeah.
plant.
Patrick?
they confuse that at the beginning on, and they are not ours, so,
Yeah,
but we are officially at one active case, so. Just pretty good.
Johnson County's not doing too bad either.
Right, but they don't advertise that, but.
In the office protesting with that, bring it back around,
We don't know.
you know, groups of people hanging together.
It depends on where they came from. If they're
Right.
shot over here from Des Moines, we might be screwed.
Yeah, like 4,000 or 5,000 people.
Yeah,
Yeah, there,
it's insane.
Or some suitors.
so.
I've been
I've been very
selfish
selfish
about keeping track,
We've
but
been very
No,
fortunate,
total 4 to 5,000.
especially with 4 nursing homes in the
Yeah,
county.
we have
There's
that.
half the people there.
Yeah.
well, every time my mom wanted to come down here, I kept saying, stay home. I don't wanna see you. Like, do not infect me.
That is rude.
I don't care.
Let's go this big lot for 3 years, I don't care.
We also have Jurassic Park.
Just said my
Part
Christmas.
one,
present.
part two, part three.
Yeah, I can say, how many people are that done with this big, part 2 and 3? We got 8 left the first 2 movies.
Had a landfill meeting the other night, went well, things are going well.
Did you ever get an inloader back?
Yeah, they're back in action. So
Are you hiring any people?
we are, should be an ad out right now for new employees, so.
So you need the director, did we have a director yet? or-
Yeah, she is.
He basically went out by title.
Yeah, she is my title. Still, I think it's still calling her, but she is director. So, she will have the official final say on hiring. But we have a personnel committee that
Which is like, if you guys selected people and then she picked them or.
she collects and then she gives them to them to okay, and
You guys approve.
we got Tyler Marshall on it, and Dan Ray and Solberg. So. Go well. So, other than that. our tire prices will go up next year to some extent because Liberty Carrier is the only company that takes them in the Midwest, and so. Well, and they didn't go up last year, so they jumped a little bit this year, but it's still reasonable for. Well, I took a pickup load the other day and there was probably 16. If you take a bunch, it's cheaper than if you take a few. Because it's by the tire, but if you take them by the pound. So there's a guy in front of me that had 6 like bigger pickup truck tires and they were $41. Well, I took a pickup load with 16 in it or something like that. And it was 50. So. But that's it. How are you this morning, Nicholas?
Good, how are you?
Wondering.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's my follow-up.
That's what I like to see.
There's my follow-up.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The bridge on 225th, we are pouring the guardrail. I think they did that late last night.
And then, okay, when I brought that, so on the ends, it's like they're still rerun. Do they angle the ends or why did they pour the whole thing?
Why,
For the rail?
yeah,
So they're, I don't know, 5 feet maybe on the ends of the rail, but it's not forced to rerun, sticking out. Does it go a different direction or does it get sloped or?
yeah, that's like the guardrail transition section.
So it kind of funnels or it's got a little angle to it or something?
Yeah, I mean, I can bring over the plans if you
Well,
want. or-
That is true. Ethan likes, Ethan and I go down and look at it, and you've ever seen it step by step, we can watch it develop. And then the approach, there's no like a slope approach, it's just rerun sticking out in front. That just kind of gets cut off, and they need that to hold the form in the front on the end, right? On top of the,
There's a little, I forget the name of it right now. But there's a little transition section between the gravel and the bridge, not that, that far.
yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Because there's rods that gotta go, and those rods are gonna take, just because they have to have something that hold the form, to hold the concrete for that.
Yeah, I guess I'm not sure which exact part you're talking about, but I can bring you over some plans.
No, like I said, it's just interesting what they're starting to take some of that form, what they call it. Yeah, and then some of those are starting to come out, taking some of that out. So, couple weeks, it'll look a lot different when they're be close to being done.
It'll look a lot different in a week, yes. As soon as they finish, pouring, the railings, and then they'll strip those, and then, yeah, just the other little pours, that equal 3 yards of concrete total, essentially, not much. But yeah, it should go pretty fast. Then they'll finish the grading, that'll take a little while. So, no, I think we're still, a month away, but the bridge itself, yeah, will look very down here shortly.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I
the,
drove down there the other day.
I remember the one time they did the deck and how they put a pump in the correct, they pump water out to keep everything wet, they spray water out overnight to keep it wet.
or the burlap.
When the guardrail, the burlap, we stuck right at it, you couldn't believe how hot it is in there. The cement generates heat.
Yes, we're getting a little close on the construction stuff.
I'd say you probably walked across it, but now. I can
You signed your name in it,
I
didn't you?
didn't
You
get out.
put Texas Bridge on it.
It was too hard.
Oh.
He only has one footprint in it.
The KH.
Yeah.
Wait till he bills you for inspection fee.
That's a standard way of it, how they go along, right? That is, yeah, something that is just interesting, because I like to watch you do that. Yep. All right, sorry.
Our guys kind of dealing with some of the flooding that was going on this week, spot rocking and grading roads. The backhoes have kind of been jumping from spot to spot, cleaning out ditches or corn stalks and trying to, help with the flooding as best that they can.
Did you guys get hit that again?
It was up, but then I also think it came down pretty quick. I did not go necessarily down there.
Because the South Half got hit harder this time.
No, I wanna say Honey Creek got hit. Some of the worst, they had 7 inches, I think, up there.
We had 5.
Yeah, too.
We had 2.5, and then that afternoon, we got 2.5, just big.
We have 3.5.
So,
Who would have thought we'd get hit by tropical storm?
Yeah, it's kind of cool watching the radar, watching that thing come up. But yeah, they got quite a bit, so they had some flash flooding up there, and then it came down, and then it came back up. So, I guess now, a lot of things are back down, but we'll have to watch the Iowa River,
So is it Honey Creek, is it close to the road up there? Or, Costi?
The Iowa, or,
Yeah.
no, the Iowa is still not over the road. Well, no, it was over the road, spots, but the river itself,
So low there.
yeah, like we couldn't make it up the river road yesterday, water was over pretty good. But I don't know if that was just because of the 7 inches of rain or because of the river. The river, I've seen the river a heck of a lot higher. But we couldn't make it, up the road that parallels the river. Bear Creek, Bear Creek?
Bear Creek.
Which is the one that goes through Costi? That's not Bear Creek, it's maybe Honey Creek, whatever. The one that goes through Costi, that came all the way back down.
There's a creek go through Costa.
It's Iowa River.
It's Iowa River.
No, the Pony Trust Bridge that is in
Yeah.
Costi.
The other,
Costi's not that big, actually, rivers.
The one that goes through,
hence the term Greek,
yeah,
later.
Bear Creek goes under 6 and over it.
right. I wanted to say that one, it's not that one.
Keep blowing it up.
The posted Pony Trust right on the east side of Costi. The water came up to the bridge there, but
But damage.
no, it was way back down. Honey Creek.
Honey Creek.
That makes sense.
Which is right there. Yeah, Honey Creek goes straight by it on the east side. This map shows it all dried out, I don't know. It's all brown too, I don't know, check it out.
Yeah, I didn't go down to the river yesterday. But obviously a lot of that area was underwater for a while. I don't know, for a little bit. Keswick Road, they're doing they did some patching. And then they're doing the intermediate layer right now. So, they will finish, I don't think they got as far yesterday as they would have wanted. But, by the end of next week, most of the paving itself should be done.
it's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like the North English Road was at this stage, but it'll be okay.
Mhm.
'Cause it's nice.
Yeah, you know, with that inner layer of rock, we have some spots that needed a little bit of patching, but,
Yeah.
I think it's all gonna hold up.
So much better. Even if they stayed this way, it's all gonna hurt a lot.
Pelican came in and did their paint striping this week, so all that should be done. Working with the windmills, we got all those bills figured out, so I sent them what the reimbursement costs will be. Did have a meeting with FEMA, I think we are officially done with Mickey. Everything else will be through Marina, so we can now proceed with also the bridge replacement over there on I Avenue. So if we could, probably, we have everything designed for that. If we wanna set the box opening date for 2 weeks from today. Whatever, Matt will send that out, and we'll get that going. So, that should be, that project, you know, should be
26th.
pretty simple.
If you're looking to see what 2 weeks from today.
June 26th.
We'll have to probably build like a little runaround, but other than that, we just drop the pipe in. Hopefully. So we won't have Timmy D do that, we'll probably have somebody else. We met with some utilities, also ordered some bridge deck plank, we went out and looked at one bridge, so we're gonna do the bridge deck on Monday. Some other bridge inspections that we had to do, you know, trying to line up some things that need maintenance. Trying to get all that lined up, so, gotta do that. And then also, we've talked about this before, and it's something that we did a lot in Blackhawk County, but, it just, you know, our goal here has kind of been, as far as our local forces, or local money, I should say, is we've done a lot of turning 20-foot bridges into boxes, and now we are at the thing of looking to, we picked a lot of the low-hanging fruit, and now we're expanding beyond that. We've talked about it before where, if the piling are bad underneath a bridge that fit the criteria, you can pound piling down on each side of the bridge, and even take a jackhammer and cut some squares in the bridge deck, drive piling down there, pull a helper beam up underneath. So you essentially get a new piling, if the deck is good. Calhoun Burns has identified 2 bridges that would take the postings off of. And then I think that we can probably do that for PP Avenue also, that 3-ton bridge up there. I mean, the bridge drains 3,000 acres, that one in particular, so, and it's 20 feet deep. So to put a box in, you have to build a runaround that is over 20 feet deep. And it's flowing pretty darn good, I know there's beaver dams out there, but it's still 3,000 acres, it doesn't go dry. So you could probably put a small bridge in for, you know, 270,000 a box, but that's a lot of work, you know, building that runaround, 160,000. Or we can probably get a good chunk of it resolved with piling, which could be 50 to 70,000.
It's definitely worth a try on a couple and see how well it works, but you said you've done it up there, so.
Yeah, no, it works. I figured out some of the math yesterday that 50 to 70,000 is probably right. Calhoun Burns said that they can make the little set of plans ready to go for like $3,000. Now I can do that myself and have all the materials here and available. But then the issue I get with doing that myself is to re-rate the bridge. At that point, you know, they're gonna charge money for that. Well, I might as well just have them give them the $3 grand and have them put everything together
So you have to cut holes in the bridge to put the tile in? How much will you lose integrity in the bridge?
No, really. No, those holes are, I don't know, 3 feet by 3 feet. You're losing the rebar, but then you just put the rebar back. Do a new rebar back in that area, tack weld to whatever you can. Put a piece of wood underneath the bottom, hold it up, pour concrete, all good again.
I guess,
Yeah. We'll have to,
say $200,000.
you know, probably, I think personally, we could get by with one piling on each side, but I'm pretty sure nobody will like that idea.
How do you do that at angle?
No, you just set it, drive it, take the crane.
No, I mean, I'm picturing that you get the box. This is your bridge, so you have to go at an angle to the pilings, or you have to go corners?
You straight down on each corner, 3-4 feet away from the bridge.
So in each corner, there's 4 corners.
So 1 on each corner, yeah, 4.
Yeah, they use it too.
2 on each half,
2 on each half, yeah, it just means 1 on each side.
But you thought you could get by with 2 total,
yeah.
then we put it in the middle.
So you take the crane, hang it over the edge, drive down a pile, go to the other side, drive down a pile. It all depends on how big of a helper beam that you have. I'm sure that nobody's gonna want to use just 2. We'll probably have to cut holes in the middle of the deck. Drive down there, probably have to go 75, 80 feet deep, so we'll have to splice them or, weld them together. Throw the helper beam underneath. Torch off the 4 piling, pull the helper beam up, put some shims, tack weld everything. You should be good to take off, should be good.
Does that usually extend the life of the bridge for a certain period of time, or is it just kind of?
Yeah, I would say,
That's all
as long as
better.
the deck is good, that metal should last forever, so.
Say, it just be down to the deck.
But what I've seen, the deck looks good.
Yeah, a lot, yeah. On most of these. I mean, the one that they wanna do is probably, 70s. The deck still looks alright.
Goes the other one out.
PP Avenue is, it's not a very wide bridge, but the deck looks good, it's a precast T-beam or whatever, I didn't get underneath, but precast. The third one, I don't know. I'm thinking about probably just doing the 2 that are up PP and the one on 110th, they're side by side. It's just now a matter of, it's probably a winter job. It's when you'll get your best price. Have somebody like Taylor, Iowa Construction, come in and do it over the winter.
They'll still encase in concrete then? Just a steel beam? So that's actually work on the concrete things, or
No concrete.
you have to patch the holes.
What's that?
They said they have to patch the holes somehow.
They can get by with that.
That's easy enough because they can use a hot mix.
Well, not
Well, I
obvious, but yeah. I mean, we're in Iowa. I mean, you, with that small of a section, you can blanket that.
You can blanket it, and they've got heated blankets.
What do you think in that, I mean, in that area up there, I think you gotta go so far away to go around that bridge, I guess. It makes that road a dead end.
That's a mix that'll set up in like a day.
No, I'm just thinking about the other, even when it's closed, it'll be heavy, it's closed, it'll get fixed, but at 3 ton, any farmer can't take much or a bus or anything across it.
Right.
Or a maintainer.
Yeah, it really shouldn't take, I don't know, it might take a couple weeks.
Is that a this year project, this winter project, or?
I think I'm going to wait probably about I could ask Calvin Burns to, I might ask them to prep the plans. I'll tell them that I want 2 together, see if we can get a more decent price. It's not that we can, It's just a matter, like I said, the whole load rating thing.
Yeah, because we wouldn't want to have you do it and then come later and say, yeah, well, when I say load already on.
Disappointing.
Yeah, well, and they're all, yeah, we'll see what they give us. I might do it myself in the future, I might start having them do that, and then we'll have it ready, just sitting there, ready. And, we'll know a lot more, I think in July 1, how our books look. I've also heard that, November is gonna be the timeline when, the local auction sales type stuff.
November is when they do the catch-up, which obviously won't be a catch-up this year, so we could go. I know this is uncharted territory, but I guess we could go a few months without a hotel month, or without a local option payment,
Right.
because.
Something like it could be like the double whammy, because there's no catch-up, and then they reduce everything in the future.
Right,
Catch-up's negative or something.
they do the catch-up and then, yeah, then your next year is based on that,
Yeah,
and then
Which makes next year challenging all the way around.
yeah,
you just have to hope that the next November there's a catch-up the other direction, which we have had several times. Or November payment was more, not less.
so I think we can afford to move forward with having them help out with the plans. It'll just kind of be, we could sit on them until September, and then we could do the local lighting then, like, hey, which of you local contractors has, open winter?
Right.
Here's a month's worth of work. You're gonna have a certified welder. That's about it. We'll see, and maybe I'll even buy the steel ahead of time, so we have a markup on it, That's what I did last time,
Good idea.
so I'll maybe move forward with contacting Calvin Burns about doing that, because if we can get, a couple of those off the system, that would be good. Next week, also, if, we're gonna have bids for Y Avenue box and LP bids for the year.
That's 12 weeks on the delivery of that box.
I believe it's something like that. I believe you put a delivery of September 15th.
You start the order first, or that's where you start at?
No, we took Timmy D out there, told him what we want, and essentially, worked through everything with him. Everything was subject to change because I don't know if we technically have signatures yet to ask. We did contact the water line, so we must have signatures. The water company, they're supposed to be moving here. What Timmy's gonna do is he's going to start off with,
We can straighten that one further. It's last.
no, he'll start off with straightening the creek. And then actually he's gonna straighten it, and then he's gonna build the runaround on the west side, because it's gotta be on that side, because the trucks have to come in from the north side. Then I go back down that big hill. So he'll start off doing that, and then also moving that road on the northeast, we'll call it east half. He's gonna move that road over. The road will be graded to a rough road. That way those trucks can come down and we won't have to deal with the super elevation. They can just back down on a flat road. Once that is handled, then we'll make the crane pad there. Then we'll set in the box. Once we set in the box, he can remove the runaround, and then at that point, we will grade the road to have a super in it. And so,
Let's hope it's something you can start on now, but wait for the box to start.
Well, they'll start a couple weeks early,
Right.
so when the box comes.
Yeah,
But as far as starting now,
Timmy will crank it out pretty quick.
right, we can't start now, I mean, we have to use that old road to build the new road,
Right.
so,
You can directly over it, clearly.
yeah, we'll take a lot of material over.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Too bad.
So that's, no, once the box comes, we set the box. At that point, we use the motor graders to put the super in while PDD finishes back from, should be good to go a couple of weeks later. Open for harvest 2021.
Good idea.
Done good now.
Well, they haven't been able to harvest across that bridge for years. Listen, don't start.
And at the same time,
All farmers respect weight limits.
we'll be redoing that one out there on my avenue, or just right after. So we'll have that open. That's what we've been up to.
It's a lot.
A couple more weeks here, we're gonna have both those construction projects will be done, and we're gonna start on local projects, putting in culverts. Love construction season. Alrighty, have a good week, guys.
Thank you.
Anybody need a recess for a little bit?
Oh. You guys are chewing pretty hard today.
Yes,
I'm gonna hand out a couple things. I apologize, I still have a bad connection on my internet service down there. This morning, I wanted to clean up that spreadsheet, so I just printed you guys off that.
thank you.
I think the report looked good. Fine, that I sent to you. Yeah. You sure? You sure? I'll get your copy, I'll send you one, so I must count it.
I'll steal
You can have mine.
it. We're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we're socially distanced sharing.
So yeah, I can start with the report part if you want, and then we can go to that. I think I sent that, I think turned out okay. I had some things messed up in my spreadsheet. So yeah, as always, I tried to get Shane and Julie, myself, we tried to write down. We usually have a list of things we're going to do on that chalkboard now. I think John has seen that. And then also, if we do some things in between, which we do quite a bit, then we try to get them written on there as many as possible. So those are the things that I put on this report. Always. You guys are always welcome anytime to stop down and look at that board. It's really helped me to stay organized. And a few more, geo issues, the air conditioning coming on, nothing that I couldn't either fix programming myself or together with Brian Turner from CI3. And once again, anytime you want to stop over there and I can kind of show you some of the things that I do with the parameters and have an idea how that works sometimes. If it's really hot out or really cold, that's usually the first place I'll stop in the morning, just to try and head things off before the people get here if there's an issue. Going down, I'll try and get some of the highlight stuff here, some of the stuff, the smaller stuff. Yeah, we kind of got after that, the medicine cooler there at the health department. They got quite a bit of stuff in there, so yeah, the evaporator coil in there was filthy, and instantly cooled down there. That was kind of a bigger thing. Ryan Kriegel is down there now, he's on the building maintenance project, they're probably about half done. They got there actually yesterday, they were maybe there for an hour the day before it started raining. They got most all of it tore off, they got one side on and they're starting on one side of the roof. When I left down there. This is the front and back entrance of the courthouse. I know, John, you had seen that and brought that to my attention. That is now scraped and the spray is ready to be caulked and painted. That's on our list. Here. Got all the parking stripe areas taken care of. This whole complex, then also down at transportation. Quite a few LED lights again, retrofits. We did the whole holding area. I had done a couple as Dallas had gone out there, and so the guys, Jeff and Chris, that was on their wish list to get that whole room done. It's been on there for a while, so we got that one done. Also the laundry room there for those guys. You know, the sewer, it seemed like, I think, I talked to Kevin about that. Since we installed that sewer there, you know, we knew we had to lay it pretty flat. We thought maybe there was a dump truck when we had done that and it got down in the trench. I was worried about it sagging. That wasn't the case. The last time we checked it, it's actually the main sewer of the city that backs up. So it wasn't our issue.
Nice.
But we did move this for, Jim Dister off. Was having an issue because we cut through the corner of the property, and this has been going on for a year and a half, 2 years. And I had Doug, and I think Adam was there, Robbie, and he finally determined that he wanted us to move that, even though the gas line goes right through there also. So I just went ahead and did it because it was getting to be a bigger issue. And Doug said he's going to work with me. I don't think that's going to be a big thing. Yeah, the countertops are ordered for the courthouse and the annex here. I think they're just about done. Scott Grego had a carpal tunnel surgery, and he was 2 weeks later than expected on that. So Shane and I and him are going to work together on that. I'd like him to be there for the install, the tear out we can do, and you know, and some of the prep work. And that comes with the ladies, I think for the most part, know that might be July now instead of June. But they all picked out colors, and that's in progress as we speak. We had a couple faucets. We've had a really bad faucet over there at the jail kitchen for quite a while. And then the ladies over at the LAC, was one that they covered the turn and kept thinking, so we just replaced those.
You don't know it's hooked out water.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we have resolved that.
Rob, here again.
So yeah, there's been a hot water issue over there, and I think we resolved an issue that's been there since it's
Since it
been
was
built.
built, right?
Yeah, and all it was is it's a Y hose in the laundry room. So Scott and Brecky called me up and said, hey, do you have any preventive maintenance stuff, you know, during this COVID thing? So I said, tell you what, why don't you come over and let's spend some time trying to figure this hot water thing out. So it's been there. And yeah, I like him. He went up through there, he and I both. Only thing is, he shut a water line off the first day or late in the day that I didn't know about. That caused me to come in at 1:30 in the morning because the toilet wouldn't work in the dispatch. Which I understand the need. The lady's there by herself. She can't leave the room, so, but we got that taken care of. So yeah, I think, fingers crossed, I was gonna ask Rob to make sure that, the last time I talked to dispatch, they are now not mixing hot and cold water at locations and getting it. So that was good. We did some work, up there for, Michelle. John was kind of knew quite a bit about that. Moved the countertop, cut it down, and reorganized the vault and the driver's license on this side of the building back in there to make things better for them.
We need to see about getting some glass for the window outside
Oh,
where we took the speakers out,
oh,
but it needs to be raised off of there so that it blocks the through, but you can still hear
that whole area you're talking about.
just that band.
I
I
see.
tried to get Brent to do something there, but he couldn't come up with something that was gonna be.
Oh, they want something that'll come out away, but still be able to talk and yet cover it.
It can bolt or screw out to the outside there, but it needs to be some kind of safety glass, because if it's sticking clear across like that,
Like safety, plexiglass or something.
well, but it needs that rounded edges and
I see.
you probably almost be better off with regular safety glass. Thicker that's got the tape in between, like windshield, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So somebody doesn't get hurt on it or break it.
sure.
I mean, but yeah, because they don't want the speakers back in there because they can't hear. But they don't want the exposed area.
Anyway, better speakers.
They didn't like the speakers that they had before, and so I tried to get them to, and they didn't.
We kind of went back and forth on that a little bit.
Yeah, so they're not interested in that, so that's about the only thing I can come up with, unless you can find something different.
Okay, I'll talk to Michelle about it too. I got it written down. Yeah, Julie's been, during this period, it's allowed her a little more opportunity, the courthouse, wasn't as dirty, some of this extra stuff she's done, and she's stayed busy. And we talked about, doing some extra window cleaning, deep cleaning. She's doing a good job. So I got some of that stuff listed here. She was at the engineer's office. With some deep cleaning and windows, and there'll be some more all the way through here. State clerks, they got that high ceiling in there. That's on our hit list too, to get all of those eventually. I put 3 of them in there one morning early because they were one of them above their desk. So we'll get those taken care of as we come up. Yeah, we're over the Williamsburg ambulance, we took the lift over there. That worked out better for 2 of us to go there, one guy down and one up. And we got those lights all repaired there. It was mostly bulbs. There was a jam at the Kinsey side. I don't know, somebody had to almost try to get the door open and split the whole jam there, but anyway, got that taken care of. The glass replacement at the job at the LEC is now complete. They had a couple pieces of glass that didn't come in. I think there was 2 or 3 in the jail part, 2 or 3 in the office part. And they did a very, very good job. Jeff thought so also. Oh, seeing the civil defense here, Cody Hawkins is down there on that concrete job. He poured it yesterday.
Okay.
Looks like he did a nice job. He did the 2-4 thing where he tied it in by the doors. And that looks really nice.
REA,
That is complete also.
I haven't got by there yet.
Yep,
How'd
just
it turn out?
good. Larry was there. He did those 2 little flower beds and then that parking area coming out of the walkout. So the 3 people that work there, concrete and then walkway right into the walk over there. Those 2 little flower beds while I was there, they're a nuisance. And I did talk to Marilyn Austin, she was the one that always did a good job and took care of them.
She was the flower taker care.
Yep. Yeah, so I got her approval because,
She bends my ear.
yeah. Now, when she did, she
Yeah.
had that looking good. It was-
Yep. So this will be a little maintenance free,
Yeah,
which helps.
I agree.
That looks like the highlights.
What's that?
I said, that looks like the highlights.
Yeah, it is. The electrical service area, one going into the building itself. I noticed when we were doing the new building, there was one leg almost completely burned off, going right through the weather. There was one strand left. Just happened to look up there, because I had to talk with, the electrician that, she was from there. Anyway, Reed, yep. And, we talked about, he was gonna fix it while I was there and he forgot, so I just had Tim come and we just pulled the wires down into the panel and out, and so I thought it was a good time to do that, because we had to shut the power off while they're down, get that done. Yep, I think that's kind of the, once again, you guys can read through that. Have any questions, call me. Call me at any time.
So critter control, get the critters under control.
Yes, well, they're done.
Wait to see, let's wait.
I was very happy. They did a very good job of cleaning up there. I know that, and they communicated very well. I like both the guys, both Sam and Rick. The owners, Rick and Sam, did most of the work. He had that lift. They put, the last I talked to them, 5 or 6 of those escape hatches where the bats can get out and can't get back in. He said, I can tell you that I found at least 5 spots where I know they were getting in.
Okay.
So, he seemed pretty confident that after he did it within a week, that he felt pretty confident we shouldn't have any issues anyway. So, hopefully.
Well, that means the excitement level will go down in the courthouse.
Yeah.
I'd say that was money well spent.
Oh, whatever, you're just not a bad lover.
No, I'm not bad.
Well, I felt good about this place. Sometimes you have somebody come and you're like, you spend that money. And you're like,
Yeah, you're like, nice, it's all snake oil.
yeah. These
We
guys,
have used that.
We need to take, let's go.
yeah,
That's been 15 years ago.
yeah.
Move into my building.
Thank you.
So if they move over to my building, I'm gonna be pissed off.
Well, I got a phone number for you.
Kind of expensive.
Oh,
I
they were
sent you
good.
guess the bill. Yes,
They're gonna go do something.
I will forward it to your landlord. My landlord.
There's some bats looking for a new home.
What?
There's bats looking for a new home.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, there were big trees with that.
Oh, really?
Well, mosquito population will go down outside now, so
Yeah.
2, 3 to 5.
Yeah, I definitely recommend them. There's different branches of that critter control, which I didn't know these guys are out of Riverside. But, yeah, Sam, you got up on the roof, and walked all around the roof.
They do a good job.
I felt they did.
That ended up being less than the estimated amount too.
Yeah,
It was like
yeah, I noticed that too.
$12,000, $13,000 possibly, yeah. But this is only 6, yeah.
Yeah. And they were here,
And yet,
2 full days.
They are looking for this one.
Yeah, and then they had that big lift,
Leave your door open.
No.
your bad team points.
There we go,
No. Either that or snakes.
No.
We're just getting picky
I
now.
So yeah, a couple of upcoming bigger things. Well, I got a call from Billy Schmidt. Man, we haven't been to Hillside Estates in forever. He sent me a picture of this last heavy rain. There's a leak in the roof, which I understand, as you guys told me, that the exteriors are so. So he had to get with the lady. We got to go there, sign these COVID papers before we can go inside and all that stuff. But I decided to have Charlie McKenzie go with me. He's just tell me he's done those things. He's 62 or so, it was a lot about, he helped us at REA with that ice issue, so he's gonna go over there with me the first part of next week and, see if we can figure out where it's at.
Okay.
What's going on with that. We got all the hardware here, and we've had it here to replace the hardware at all the secondary road locations for next request, the ones that automatic lock. He does have the keys passed out, so, there's 36 of those. So I told Shane, we will fill in with those whenever, in between, do one location at a time, and I told Nick it's a work in progress type thing. So we'll get those are a couple of notes I had on here. So I did go through and kind of did a projection here a little bit for you guys as far as the budget and where it's at for the building maintenance department. I listed the jobs, and I'm gonna go through those. The civil defense concrete, as I said, that is poured, so that'll be finished up here probably on Monday by the time he backfills and stuff. The building maintenance warehouse, I'd say that's probably gonna be half done after today. Ryan thought by Tuesday or Wednesday, they would be complete there. Larry Pfizer has these smaller jobs to do for us. He told me that he would get them done, for us this fiscal year. There may be one or so that if he doesn't get to, maybe next, but I think I estimated that high, because those are all smaller ones, but I wanted to do that. The glass I talked about, I do have invoices for those, they're already in, and the same with the credit control, that invoice is in. I did an estimate on the remaining claims here over the next two weeks. I figured that high, I think. I looked through them right now, I have maybe $3,000 sitting there other than these big jobs. So I feel pretty confident in that. So that kind of, those added together comes to 74,345. Randy or Jessica sent me the last expense report on 6/2. We were at 111,436, which would leave that 30, somewhere around 37. And as I said, I think I'm bigger and heavy up here, but I wanted to be sure. And so I did have on the agenda, this top item. These are those lights, those round black with the half glass that go all the way around. They're fluorescent lights, and we're constantly changing them. They're like a $20 item. And it seems like it's very often that we are always doing that. And I was just trying to think of something. So they do make a light that looks very similar, almost looks identical, a little more modern. It's not quite as rounded, but it's black, it's got half glass, and it's LED, 100% LED. And I think I got that quote on that handout I gave you guys on the second page there they're the only people that I can get that could find something to match them. And yeah, I was just thinking kilowatt, those are on, quite a bit. They're up high, seems like we're always doing it, but I would want to hear your guys' thoughts too, but that's something that I had on my list here for this fiscal year, if we wanted to see that. That was one of the things.
It'd be good.
And I would be doing the work on that myself.
Very good.
On the countertops, I think I'll have the invoices, and those will be complete this fiscal year. I was gonna go ahead with that, that's what we're gonna talk about. And I did talk to Dave Markham, between Ryan and some other contractors who think he is the most reasonable, does really good work as far as spray foam installation. And I just got a number, and it's something we don't have to do either, from him. This would be at the building maintenance warehouse. What happens in the summer when it gets wet or rainy or humid, it's always sweat in there. We do have some toilet paper and paper we put on pallets. I guess I just thought it'd be nice to at least insulate it if we had money to do that, just the sidewalls.
So what's the ceiling got?
The ceiling, right, won't have anything right now. I don't know, I thought down the road, Kevin, was maybe to do like we did in Conroy eventually, is maybe put steel on the inside. Then we could lower that ceiling and not have it all the way up like Lumpy's is, you know, lose that
Can
heat.
you just put the foam insulation seal, those 4x8 sheets that are silver up on the ceiling,
Oh, up on the ceiling?
or make a fake ceiling out of those?
Yeah, I'll have to look at
Between
that.
trusses, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how that is up there, John.
I can't think either right now.
Yeah,
Are there any
that's,
rebates on any of that?
there is on the cell core, I know. But yeah,
We need to do this, and that's slow as we go.
Well, he said this was would not tech bids. And this was a recommended company.
yeah, I mean, that, yeah, I know it's time frame wise too, Kevin, you know, that would be it's $1.86 a square foot, and he said, and according to the contractors, that everybody else is like over $2.
We're gonna do this fiscal year, we're really gonna be time on to get bids.
You know, and then,
And it needs to be done before we pay for it.
And he did, I did ask him that question, Jessica,
that would help that bathroom in there too, that
yes,
But that's what I'm thinking about those countertops, is we shouldn't pay for them until they're done.
yeah. Yeah, I talked to Scott about that, they're working on them now, and, yeah, I would give them a phone call. On that.
So you're in the budget.
I think even, you know, if we did these three things, guys, I think, you know, my estimate is that there's still maybe 20 some there to, you know, to use or put back in. That's kind of my projections at this point. I don't foresee anything. In this department, you know, as the year goes on, you don't know, you know, there can be some big things come up, but I think we're close enough now that we can.
everybody fine with that?
Okay, that's what we'll do then. I don't have anything else unless you guys do. Yeah, which one do you want to see?
Well, whatever the last
Oh,
3 projects.
oh, last 3, yep. Right here.
And those are the ones you're actually gonna do?
Yeah, actually gonna do all. These are ones that we were already approved
Yeah,
or in progress, and those are the 2 I just talked, or the 3 that I just talked to them about.
I sometimes it's not gonna be done for the line.
That was for.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's a lot.
So the countertops will just roll into next year.
Because
If you can't have them done by June 30th, we have to.
Yeah,
No,
I will call them and see,
yeah,
and
there's,
make sure, if they're done, then we can, if not, then we will.
okay,
So with the phone.
yeah,
Yep. I did talk today, he said he would make it happen. I said, I don't know, I said, I have to talk to you guys to see if, and he said, we would.
I would just look into that silver.
Do they paint it then too?
I think he's, you know, Welsh Bob has that in his machine shop where they have just that cell core. It's like
Yeah.
thick.
He's got it up on the roof, on the,
No, it's on the rafters. down.
oh, on the rafters,
So it's
oh,
like,
okay.
it's in between, so you've got heat zone in between, a buffer,
Oh, okay,
so, I mean, I don't know,
all right.
that's,
Where, Bob has that one,
it's this big machine shed right there.
it'll stop over there.
Cause you have to wait, you're supposed to paint the phone here.
Yeah, but I guess like I said, my thoughts would be to maybe eventually put steel on the inside. And I was thinking that's something that maybe me and Shane, you know, since that was gonna be warehouse / shop area, like we did at the new building in Conroy.
Conroy.
Is there some kind of deal, I don't know what it is, sunlight, zero.
Yes,
Yeah,
And that's
if we're gonna leave it that way, then it's best to paint it,
Yeah.
right,
yeah.
And see, that other foam insulation board is, it's silver, so it's like shiny. So it helps with lighting even.
And we could still put steel underneath that if we wanted to.
Oh, yeah,
That'd be insulated ready.
but it's insulated and you wouldn't have to, if you didn't want to.
Okay, I'll look into that also.
Yeah, it's just a suggestion, I don't know.
Yeah,
These budgets could be tighter.
Yeah, well, that's why I think that would be cheaper than, you
Yeah.
know, to do two things, brighten up the building and insulate.
Yeah. I wasn't even at this point planning on doing anything soon, but yeah. I mean, I'll look
It
into
comes
that.
in 4x8 sheets, so
Yeah.
it'd be pretty easy.
Keep that question for you.
Oh, he did.
Have you heard anything ever?
On shooting?
Height,
On the,
height?
Take a break till 10.
Oh, no.
Sheriff comes.
that's right, he's got one there too.
Thanks, boss.
Okay.
I got a story to tell you about something else that was sent to me. But anyway, but no, that should be coming anytime, because I got some other stuff there. Yeah, he's behind, usually gas in my house.
He's just curious, you can ask.
Tell him I will, I'll send him a message this weekend.
Okay.
It's gotta be coming, he's working on it, because he's got a black bear there that he had some questions for like 2 weeks ago.
We got one there.
Bob Boss, North English, Bob, yeah, he shot one.
Bob and Tom show?
Yeah,
You know Tom.
I don't know what's on it.
I don't think Bob and Tom get along.
Yeah.
No, so,
I was right there for a big pond, right?
yeah. Yep, I was up in that big house once, they had a few old furnaces, mom and dad there, and, they were getting smoke in the house, and we figured it out, and we thought the heat exchange was bad, but there was that bird nest in the chimney, so. Had a rope and dropped the bird down and knocked her out. And she's still alive.
See who the bird is?
No. Mrs. Voss, John. Bird's dead. Bird's dead.
I just wanted to let the Audubon Society know which side of the
Probably-
issue you were on.
Probably dead from the oil fumes.
Save the brick.
Save the break.
What does BM stand for?
Building maintenance.
Susie? I had to think about it too, I saw it.
Well, I was putting that Excel spreadsheet together. I had to shorten it up because I couldn't fit it on one page.
Just curious.
That's how I shortened up the length.
I really couldn't figure it out.
I felt.
I was trying to think of all the buildings you had. and
Oh, I know, I was there too.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't fit it on
I
the
think it's
page.
still a defense building, no, that's not. That's part of it.
Yeah, I'm not the best at Excel, so that was an extra for me to shorten up, so.
I'm not very good at,
I love it when you text somebody, you're in a hurry and autocorrect takes over.
yeah.
No,
Yeah, I really didn't mean to say that.
No, I don't.
Sometimes I just go,
I wasn't trying to type in duck, no.
yeah, I just thought with duck. My friends make fun of me, they're still doing duck, I'm like, I don't even care anymore. Duck it is.
All right, well, I don't know, I need to wait here till everybody comes back and says.
And if I say I'm deaf, it says dead every
They
time.
left it good.
All right,
It always changes deaf to dead.
have a good day, guys.
Okay.
Got helpers day, huh?
Yes, all summer until she goes to school.
Yeah.
I am not dead. Not dead. No, it only changes, autocorrect always changes it to dead, deaf to dead. My friend and I, Shauna and I spent Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday catching cats.
How many cats you trying to catch?
Huh?
How many you trying to catch?
Well, we didn't know.
I thought there's only 3 you wanted to catch.
I know, so did I.
We got 3 and there was 3 more.
I had more. So there's so many places for them to hide over there, it was ridiculous.
Where do you, farm or where are you?
No, just over in my backyard.
But in the alley type, yeah.
Yeah, you know, the Kurtz building, he owns the 4 buildings next to mine.
Let's see your hands.
No, so we couldn't catch them because they were in and out of this wood pile and there was holes from the garage to rooms into the next room and couldn't catch any of them. So we're like, well, now what do we do? So we also found 2 traps that Kurt never told me he had. And when he showed up later afterward, he was like, oh, I forgot I had those. And one was
You
like,
must have had a problem before.
yeah, one was one of those really nice quiet ones, you know, that it just goes flop. And it doesn't make that horrible rattly noise. So we set it and then went for lunch. And then came back and we caught the mama and 2 babies. So Shauna and her daughter took them with them to Marion. And then I set another trap.
Sheriff's a couple minutes. He's on his way.
I think. Jesus, I've lost track of time, I can't even figure out the time.
Well, if
frame
you've done this
anymore.
for 3 days, why wouldn't you?
And then, I caught one during the rainstorm, whichever night that was.
What's the total?
5 kittens and 1 mama. But they're
They're all
so
gone?
beautiful.
You just told me 3, remember?
I know, but it doesn't matter because they're all so beautiful, they're spoken for.
I thought you said you were supposed to get 3.
I know, they're the most beautiful, you should see them.
Are they all multicolored different ones?
No, they're
I
all
have a nice
tabbies,
home for
white,
in the country.
tabby and white, and they're the most beautiful kittens you've ever seen.
Tabby cat, everybody knows what that is. Except for you and I.
And they come up like really, like all of a sudden they're just like, yeah, indoor cats, we're cool.
Oh, they are pretty cute, aren't they? Yeah, yeah. How are we doing?
Nice.
Oh, really?
Apparently,
Well, I'm glad you cut, now, of course, Mama's gone, so you don't have to worry about.
Did you know that-
Well, yeah, she's with them.
But I mean, you don't have, she left,
do you know how it goes?
Yeah.
so you won't have to.
They
worry
used
about-
the litter box right
One or
away. She taught them how to use the
They're only
litter box
one set.
immediately. Look at this one.
What's that?
That one's
Pretty,
I like
different
that.
colors, different, yeah, right?
Yeah. This one, he was, oh my gosh, this is funny, because when I trapped,
Oh, I
this
thought
was
you
the
were
3rd one he
joking.
trapped during the
Oh, I
rainstorm.
thought you were
He was
teasing.
wet and pissed
Yeah.
off.
Yeah,
He
So you
was
see all the
so
little-
mad, and he's so mad. He'll be,
Okay.
he'll be like, he'll like be,
That one man's dollar.
and making this guttural grrrr sound, and he'll pick him up and then he'll just snuggle in that mouth.
She'll just say,
Really?
And then so Wednesday, I took, it was Wednesday, I took Angry Cat up to Marion, because I had to go to the
Oh, from
photo
Friends.
shop.
that ain't weird.
And then I got home, and on the way home, I joked with her, I said, what if all the cats are thinking, hey, what about Mom? And I pulled into my driveway and saw a kid run under Kurt's garage door. I was like, son of a bitch. So I texted her back and I was like, there's Bob. And I set the trap and I went inside to take my groceries in and I came out with food because I thought, okay, I'm gonna bake this thing. And I'd already caught one and then there was another one sitting on top of that cage. So I was like, well, it's a good thing I brought both traps back with me. So I,
We gotta say that he's gonna be getting you to come help out.
yeah, they wouldn't help me at all.
What?
They wouldn't.
Different kind of one trap.
Why?
Because they're feral,
Yeah, so we.
and they wouldn't be able to adopt out. And I kept saying, I'm allergic. So,
So they don't care about them unless they're adoptable.
yeah, because they've got an overload, they've got an overload, and the
I
people,
get that, but I mean, that's kind of our deal with them.
the people who do the,
That's not to me.
spay, neuter, release, you know what I'm saying? They're backed up through August. Shauna found out yesterday. So, I don't know, we hope to find it home for mom too, but the kittens are getting scooped up
What you
already.
need to see, go to the farms.
Yeah, well, she's really good. She always acted like she was contemplating coming in my house, like if I opened my door, she'd be like,
I'm looking.
That's what we like, is good farm cats that aren't just like totally wild, but will stay in the barn.
and she would meet me every morning, like 3 times a day, that cat was there. I let the dog out several times a day, and then in the morning, she'd be like, like out there, waiting for the food, and she was good with my dog, they like moved noses a couple of times. And, so, I don't know, I think she'll be, I think, and she's finally relaxed and was out playing and stuff yesterday, so. Hope somebody wants her, but if not, I will be happy with it. Cause the male, the father, it apparently is owned by somebody who just lets it loose all the time.
Oh.
And he's a jerk, he's like ripping open the other ones and so
Well,
that's.
sure, just because it's a male, it's a jerk. I see how you are.
No, I don't, not him. I call him Wilford Brimley, you know what Wilford Brimley is?
Yes.
He has this white mustache that's like,
Wilford was in the firm too, just so you remember.
We were on vacation, they shut the movie part of the movie around.
All right.
That was cool. Got to see Tom Cruise and.
oh, Bruce.
In the firm.
We're gonna make one Tom Cruise now.
Oh my God, I did.
Well, hello, gentlemen.
Hi there, so.
I told the city last night that I was like, you should thank me because I just rid the town of 6 feral cats.
Did they pay you?
No, they'll probably leave a thing on my door telling me to mow too. And, but the chief did joke, he's like, well, so now you're an honorary member of the police force. And I was like, nice.
Whoa, be careful, you'll be working weekends.
What if we set your right control?
Call the meeting back to order. Hello, Sheriff Rodder.
Hello.
Enlighten us.
Enlighten us, oh boy. Well, the easy one is the good, I'll just start with the good things. We got a raise from the U.S. Marshal's office.
Yay.
It was a 20% raise, which was long overdue. So we'll be at $60 a day per prisoner, plus, they raised the transport rate to 24, which that's always a wash, so it's not really a big deal to us, but,
It's a better
that
wash.
doesn't hurt.
It's a better wash than it was.
Right. What do they get per diem ones? Those fellows,
I'm sorry for my.
for their commissary and that.
Well, they don't,
Okay.
it's up to them, but for some reason, and I don't know why this is, federal prisoners just seem to have money.
That's why I was curious. I mean,
I think they have connections.
They'll have, the commissary is all automated, and they'll have money in the books, people, usually they come from out of state.
Right.
Majority of them come from out of state, and so friends and relatives will send money, and it's on their books, and they'll spend a few $100s a month on commissary.
awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of candy bars.
And it is, and we added the electronic part of the commissary in that they can video conference people outside of, and they used to have to sit in the whole booth and visit, now they can visit Grandma in California. And that, it's actually very inexpensive to do that. In fact, it would be cheaper for Grandma in Cedar Rapids to do that than it would be to drive here for the gas. And we get a cut of that, so it saves the family money, it saves us money, and it keeps people happy, and they say really stupid things, and it helps
Yes.
with the kids.
Yes.
So, it works out pretty good. So, that's the easy thing, I have copies of the contract that I did send it to everyone. There really are no changes in the contract, is what we're operating in now, other than the pricing has changed. One of the questions that came up, and this was something that Lou brought up, and I'll just clarify in case you looked at it and were concerned. It talks about the responsibilities that we have for medical services. And it makes it look like we're spending a lot of money. And really all that is they don't want us to treat their prisoners different than we would treat our own. So if there's something that we do as part of the everyday routine with our prisoners, they would expect the same to be done with theirs. That does not mean that we're responsible for their medical bill.
When I first read that, then I saw the next paragraph that talked about out of, and then I go, we don't treat them the same.
Exactly, and so everything that requires them to spend money, we have to have pre-approved, unless it's an emergency. Now, what has happened in the last year is Dr. Dunn has decided that it's in his best interest to actually see prisoners in our facility. And the marshals are perfectly fine still paying that bill because it's saving them the transport costs.
Heck, yeah.
So it's a win-win for everybody, and Dr. Dunn can knock out, 4 or 5 patients. He was actually just here yesterday. 4 or 5 patients in less time than it would take him to do it there.
Like they do with nursing homes, the doctor goes in and sees a bunch of patients, and
So it works really good, and we're not responsible for that bill. He still bills the marshals just like if they went to the office. And he doesn't charge us more for it.
Phenomenal.
Which is good because that's another example of where having extra prisoners of someone else's makes our prisoners cheaper. Because if we were just dealing with a small handful of local prisoners, it wouldn't be in the doctor's best interest to make those house calls. So having more prisoners reduces medical costs, it reduces the food costs because we're on a tier system, so the more people.
So what's the breakover on that tier on the food?
I don't have that on there, but it's usually when you break past, it really gets hard on us when you go below 12.
Okay.
And there were times over the winter where we had 1 state prisoner. Yeah. So can you imagine it would just be ridiculous. You have a kitchen making a meal. And so obviously you're gonna pay for that. So we hate to see that happen. So one of the things that the marshals has asked us to do, and this is not this or that, they're not connecting any of this. The raise is ours. That's a done deal. Well, it's a done deal assuming that you sign it. But they're not using that as bait to get us to do something else. But they are asking us to take on an average of 5 more prisoners than what we currently are doing. Now, what that number really is, it's hard to say because that's always been a moving target. We usually try to have somewhere between 10 and 15 prisoners, but it does fluctuate. But they would just like to see us on average have 5 more. So every prisoner that we have from the feds for a year, a single prisoner is worth $21,900. If you did the 5, it's $190,500. So our problem is, and I brought it to you guys the last time I was here, is that we don't have the people to do the transports. The federal transports require 2 armed guards to go everywhere. If they leave the facility for anything, you have to have 2 armed guards with them at all times. And that is tough when you have 7 jailers. We used to hire part-time transport officers, and it was tough to keep them. We haven't had any luck. We had a couple that lasted for a while and then they went on. It's such an unpredictable part-time job because I can't tell, the marshals don't tell us when someone's gonna get transported until 24 hours before they go. And that's a security thing.
For good reason.
Yeah. So that's our problem. So I guess we really come down to 2 choices here. We can just take the raise and leave the numbers where they're at and just enjoy the raise, or we can take on the 5 more prisoners and increase the revenue. The numbers, and I took a jailer who's topped out in the contract and who has family insurance, and I just maximized everything. So this worst case scenario is full overtime and all the things that are connected to that. The worst case scenario for a jailer is $83,500. And that's 2 years into it as topped out to the contract. So obviously, with the 5 prisoners, there's a net profit there. I think the profit, the 109,500 is a little bit misleading in that it does not take into consideration the extra revenue that you get from the commissary. And it does not take in the cost savings in the food, because we'll probably hit a tier there. More so than not, as far as bringing the price of the food down.
So like $17,000 difference.
Let's see.
As long as we have the 5 month rate.
If you get the 5, you're not gonna keep the 5.
No, they want us to take 5. They're asking us to take 5. Now, so the other thing
The
is.
catch is the change in
In
administration.
administration, so under the Obama administration, the counts dropped significantly. What's happened since then is they've hired more attorneys at the U.S. Attorney's Office in Cedar Rapids. I was there, 2 weeks ago maybe, I had a grand jury hearing that I had to attend. They dropped 30 federal warrants that day. So
That's pretty
they're
impressive.
running hard.
Right.
And so a really bad thing would be if that changed.
But it would take time.
It would take time, but if it changed, I wouldn't see a layoff. Honestly, I think you have enough turnover eventually that you probably wouldn't have to lay off. But to say that you wouldn't, that there's no way you wouldn't have a layoff, you couldn't guarantee that.
Well, we're not gonna guarantee anybody next year.
Right.
Anything.
Yeah. So, and I'm not coming in here today expecting an answer. I think this is something that you folks need to probably think about. And if
When
there's
do you have to
other-
get them an answer by?
Well, they'll accept the new pricing. pretty much immediately.
But I mean, as
Probably
far
in
as-
this building.
The extra.
The extra 5,
I mean, realistically.
realistically, they would like us to take extra 5 anytime. There's no downside. I mean, they're not gonna punish us because we did.
Okay.
So to say I don't think there's a timeline.
No, but I kind of mean on your personal time.
Well,
Because obviously, you're looking at another person. Well, that's not, does anybody want to be a cop right now?
Just a jailer.
Okay.
the same people that
It's all relative. I mean,
that Ray and I fight over,
I know, that's my, okay.
Yeah.
And it's just,
it would take us, if we started to try to hire today, we're probably looking at a month and a half to 2 months.
that's, yeah,
And then the other issue we have is the court's opening back up in July.
right.
We have minimuses that are stacking up, the jail's gonna get full here.
Yeah, the court, I mean, it just still blows me away that they threw due process out the window.
They
And the
did,
rate was speedy trial.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it doesn't count anymore.
Unless there's a sickness going around.
So, yeah, I mean, once they open up, there's a lot of stuff to get done.
so
And the judicial could come out with new guidelines again.
the difference, if it was just raw numbers without taking into consideration the commissary side of things, you're looking at a difference of just under 26,000.
Right.
So it's gonna be 30 of the commissary.
Well, if you get 5, you're gonna get, yeah.
Commissary's gonna go up probably at least 25%, I would think, so.
How many people can you house at the sheriff's?
Well, we're rated for 44, but we've been in the 50s.
Really? I didn't have a clue, but
Yeah, when,
quite a few.
and there was a time when we were in the Benton County Jail too, during almost 2 years.
Yeah.
So we were into the 50s continually then. So it's not something you try to do, but we've done it.
Was it possible they would send more than 5 here?
Well, I think they kind of look at our capabilities and I think they like 5, and this is also a conversation I think that's going on with the Lynn County Jail.
They're booked.
They're popping the scene right now. And they
We're pretty
do
close.
so much. I mean, they're thrilled to death when we come, because the thing that we do that other jails don't do is when a prisoner comes to Marengo, the marshals never have to touch that person again, except for trials, and we bring them to them. If they get sick in the middle of the night, then we take them. If they need to go to the dentist, we take them. In Lynn County, they don't do any transports for the marshals. Every single prisoner that needs to leave, a marshal has to come and get them and haul them someplace. So I think they're looking at jails like ours, and Bremer County is one that we work with a lot, because they did the same thing, where they can park prisoners and not deal with them, because most of these prisoners are here for the better part of a year, and there's a lot of movement in that time. So it's, and the attorneys are starting like, so I don't know if we talked about this in mind of, when COVID hit, we were worried about having attorney visits coming in, because attorney visits actually were face-to-face.
Right.
And so we talked to our vendor who does the visitation thing and asked, could you extend our visitation technology to another basic camera setup that would be off the system, because we can't record those. And make it so that an attorney in Cedar Rapids or wherever can meet with their client face-to-face on screen and be secure. And they said, well, I don't know why not. So they came down, they sent people, they actually did the whole thing for free, because they thought, this is a dang good idea, why aren't we doing this?
Right.
So they started doing that, and so I think over time, you're gonna start seeing defense attorneys trying to push the clients to come here, because when you're in Cedar Rapids, it was really convenient. In the grand scheme of things, to have your client in this town you're in. But you still had to grab your briefcase and walk out and go to the jail. Now they don't even have to do that.
And they've got access to all their stuff in their office while they're doing it.
Yeah, and the only hitch right now, we've been working with the defense attorneys, is they don't have a way for them to get reimbursed. Because they cut the cost down for that down to really cheap. So they're actually saving money over gas and time, because their billable hours start the minute they leave their office, right? So they're cutting, but there's nothing on the form for it. They're stuck with a form that says how many hours and how many miles. There's nothing on there about a phone fee. So they're working at Pete at the head office there in Iowa City for the defense, public defender's office, is working with his people in Des Moines saying, hey, this is an opportunity to actually save money if we just change the form. But that's government for you, we gotta change the form.
Easy done. We're not into saving money for crying out loud.
So as you think about this, I can get you that latest sheet on the food, so you can see where the tiers are.
That's right, I just curious on how much of a benefit it would be.
It's always benefited us. You're never gonna spend more money on food because you have, I mean,
Right.
ultimately you will, but
Right.
we're getting paid for those.
Yes.
Versus the ones where we don't get paid.
So, good,
So we need to approve the contract.
yes.
I move to approve the contract with U.S. Marshal Service.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the U.S. Marshals contract for holding prisoners. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same side. Motion carries.
There's a lot of initial in here. Are you gonna come and see?
Yeah.
Well, you guys want me to do
Yep.
that? Another thing while I'm here, I might mention, so one of the positions that we filled at the sheriff's office was our part-time court guy. So we have an opening in court security. And if you recall, this was a deputy that we actually shared training with Marengo Police. We sent him to the academy, we split the bill. He worked pretty much full-time hours between us and Marengo. Worked the road as well as the court, and then covered like 3 shifts for a week in Marengo. That's the person we need to replace. And, well, the lucky thing is, at least we've been through the hiring process, so this wouldn't have to be a civil service appointment, but it gave us a list of names. And there is a gentleman here in Marengo wants to be an officer who is interested in that, and the chief hasn't met him yet, but we'll take care of that early next week. And hopefully, it's something that he'll be interested in. That's gonna be a tough position to keep filled.
Yeah.
Because they're always gonna be looking for that full-time job. Yeah. And it's fine, especially, I mean, it worked out, because when we did this, we thought, at least we'll get to try the guy out, see if he's deputy material, and now he is. So now I get to hire a guy that I don't have to send to the academy, because we did that already.
Yeah, you're gonna have to train, because you've done that.
And he's ready to go.
There's the car keys.
I just hand him the car and he's off and running. But it just makes that issue in the court tougher to deal with. But, anyway.
Stepping stone.
Just like they hired him there, one of the likely candidates, who both used the reserve officer.
I know we talked about it before, but just when I started, and I'm sure when Ray started, that was a long time ago, I know, but, we
Be
had,
40 years next week.
yeah. Yeah,
Well, that's right, 80.
but horses were cheaper than cars, so it wasn't so bad.
It was the hay we had to deal with.
But we used to have 50, 60, 70 applications for one job. Yeah. And Jeff, what was the list? We had seven or eight, something. We had 6 actually pass the testing. It was 10 because we had 4 certified. So we had 6. Since I've been sheriff, I've not had a top 10 list. We used to hire from a top 10 list. We haven't had 10 pass.
But even like Cedar Rapids can't get as many people as they want.
No.
Nobody can, and this is just main things.
I can't see anybody running around going, hey, I want to be one of those guys.
No, and it sure didn't get easier.
Now they rammed that bill through last night that.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially a field.
It is, it has no,
I mean, it's a lot of time we choked anybody.
you know, and if you're fighting for your life, then you do what you need to do.
Right.
But other than that, it didn't change anything. When you try to create law based on a really bad situation, you end up creating a really bad law.
So the rest was a knee-jerk reaction. Suddenly in 2 weeks' time, we put this law in. It's like, without input from the Chiefs Association, I don't want to assume without input from the Sheriff's Association.
Well, they were going back and forth. We had a lobbyists working with
We could also assume that they did not want any input.
no, they really didn't.
Because the Chiefs Association offered to.
Then maybe that'll be launched in the longer run,
Okay, that's another thing. Was it so bad that he sent out all those? How was that bad? I don't think,
I don't know what they're thinking.
did anybody,
We didn't have any.
And
did you get any ballots that you were suspicious of?
No. I don't know why they want to
I
change it.
haven't heard on the news of anybody saying, oh, you know, we think we got,
Yeah, I don't know why they want to change that. It was fine.
I thought they finally got what they wanted. They got a big bunch of people who voted for him.
Yeah. Which we've never had, so it should have been an okay deal.
I think it depends a lot on the state, how they administer it.
Well, I know, but I
There was some journalists on the East Coast that claimed she voted 13 times.
hopefully, yeah, well,
So it comes down to the administrator.
But I think,
You know, there are people that are crazy in the world, right?
they come, just like you guys, they come see what we do. They don't know what they deal with on the front lines.
right.
They wanna make deals that they don't know what happens, they've never been. And that's hard. And they don't wanna listen to you.
I guess I just didn't quite said that, but I think that's done. But then you could do it as long as the board approved it. I guess I thought
Well,
it was better than, you know, in the past, you've seen it where parties have gone out and got a bunch of people to sign up. They get absentee ballots, but then they really hadn't wanted that, and they show up at the polls, and well, you've already got an absentee.
Well, the precincts that or the counties they were complaining about in Georgia are all controlled by Democrats. And they were talking about all these irregularities, well, the whole board of supervisors, and everybody's a Democrat. But they're blaming everything on the Republican Secretary of State. It's like, it's the training that the election official did and the people that she has that.
I mean, it's hard when they don't work the positions, you know.
Right.
And you're just stuck with dealing with what they give you and.
All right,
All right,
thank you, sir.
thank you, and like I said, if there's any information you need, just let me know.
LEA, you think?
Supposedly. So yeah, you saw the sheriff, Davis, LEA say because of COVID. I'm like, what did that have to do with LEA? Why would that happen? Were you using a radio?
I'm only concerned with the whole NFLEA thing is, with broadcasting that, I think officers are going to kill us. Because everybody's tired of hearing.
But the thing is, they keep track of how many times that radio is, and there's nothing on there except skip. So I don't know who's using it, it's worried about it. But
No, I mean, nothing, anything we get across now here is repeat, just broadcast audio. It's not originating there, and I don't even want to rebroadcast there. We're gonna phone or in person?
what's it? Well, I think it's either or. And I've got a lot of things going on that day, so I'm gonna be hard set on driving.
No. You know, Burger King.
Well, we gotta order in now.
We might be ready to be there. I was planning on just calling. There we go.
All righty, well, thanks for your time.
Thank you, sir.
I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah.
See you later.
So I didn't know if we wanted to discuss, the library funding, I sent the new contract between, Marengo.
I think they've done everything we asked.
Yes.
It looks right.
Things like that.
The only concern is where we want to mail the payment to, because
If they're a branch and regular, then we get some regular.
there's, Marengo City doesn't really want it mailed to the Marengo Library.
They already have to run it through their books.
That's part of the agreement.
This is a branch of it.
That's the,
That's.
They think we can just send it directly to the Amana Library.
It'll go right, Clear Creek United School.
Yeah, but it's gonna be the same thing regardless.
yeah, but
If we send it to Marengo and Marengo sends it to them.
but we don't send it to a branch, we send it to the one that gets it and then they do it.
I don't know, we don't think it's in it correct, because
No,
we can't.
because they're not. I mean, we have to go through Marino. That's
To
the
me, I think since they're a branch of the library, why would we not send it to the library?
Yes,
Just because you have
That's
this
what we're-
agreement, but
Yeah, but we're sending it to the library and they can deal with it. Because it's their branch to
they
deal with.
just
branch.
wanted me to ask,
Yeah.
and so.
So,
Yeah,
they
we
send all this, you
gladly send it all to them once through their library.
It's their agreement that they, it's not forward.
Yes.
yeah, we can pay that on claims next week.
Okay.
Now this fiscal year.
Do you wanna just do it or?
Yeah.
Motion?
Oh, we already decided.
You need a motion or-
Yeah,
Because it's in the
Oh, we
budget, I mean,
approve it.
Yeah, so it was already
Yeah.
approved anyway, so we just,
Okay.
they just had to follow stipulations.
I just wanted to put it on the
Yep.
agenda just.
No,
No, that's perfect.
The next thing I have on there is the cost advisory services contract. I emailed that to you this morning and I had Lou look it over on Monday. He was fine with it.
For the DHS stuff.
Yes.
Can I ask about that? I read through it, of course, there's a lot of legal in there. But I don't understand exactly what they do.
So
Is
we
it
have,
payroll and things like that? And, oh,
they take all of these things into consideration and we submit a bill basically to DHS and then DHS pays us, but we have to have an actuarial value report before we can.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff we have to furnish DHS. We can be reimbursed for some of it, but yeah, you have to go through a company like Cost Advisory.
And if you'd like to see one of their reports sometime.
But we-
It sounded like they went down with the financial stuff, even the payroll.
We come out like 30,000 ahead.
Yeah, so,
It's way more than I need to do.
and they're keeping their fees the same, the 21, 25,
Per item that they have to work
so.
on. Just wasn't sure
Yeah.
what it was.
I think it's pretty painless for you too when they do this.
Yeah, they have it down to a science that we need this report, this report, this report. Yeah,
This is what all this company does, it works like that.
and they're also doing the ambulance one now too.
So we need motion to approve that contract. So,
It's been moved and seconded to approve the cost advisory services contract. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The closure request.
I sent that to you for
We're being approved.
Amanda Parade.
never had a little more library. So it's gonna be like,
That's it.
Or no, it's just gonna have theirs
So we
in
can't-
July.
End of July, like.
they could use it. Okay.
No, it's in July.
Yeah,
They're agreeing to pick it.
it's always later because it's like.
They're gonna have the parade and the fireworks and that's all.
Yeah, we're gonna do a modified.
Waynesburg just stretched their route out to be over 2 miles.
What?
Well, so social distancing.
And there's gonna be nothing else going on in the square, so there'll be no reason for me to pile up there to watch
That's a
it.
good idea.
If they can just watch it all along.
Where's it going from? It's a new route.
It's not secret, Kevin, we can't tell you.
It goes out of the high school at the northeast corner, goes down to North Street, then down through Western Oils. Then it comes back and then goes up past my place and turns like regular route from there.
So, put your walking shoes on.
I think it's 2 point some miles.
That'd be good.
But, you know, I'll have to go like 2 sites in my house, so I'm sure I'll have, you know,
Radio did cancel it.
yeah, regular canceled.
It's gonna be like July 3rd or something.
I think on fireworks, they're gonna request that people stay in their cars.
That'd be awesome if it's 100 degrees.
You boys park clear out there on the south.
Yeah, but you're from Millersburg.
Well, you don't have to get in traffic either.
I go to the cemetery, or I stay home to go there.
If we stay in our front yard, we can see Marengo and Hawkeye Downs and North Liberty and.
He's at home, really.
I move to approve the road closure request for the
Awesome.
Second.
It's moved and seconded to approve the road closure request by amendment. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Yes.
just on the 4th, I guess.
Locking in the house and the house, or did I
You guys want to talk about locking in Latin courthouse?
I didn't know if that got resolved or.
Is it resolved?
I don't know.
It's not.
I'm asking.
Let's get it resolved.
Is it in his job description? It's not. I mean,
I assume the first person that comes in here every day and locks the door.
Do you have a designated person?
Ready to
When is it, when is your vacation, is it somebody else that has the key or?
So the first person here can unlock the door.
Both of them.
So is that, I was gonna say all neighbors, because there's multiple doors.
And we turn on the handicap, I think. So I have to get out of steps.
Because it's a,
Because I'm short.
We should have ran that switch low.
we can. We can. We just barely got the water leak there. It's not raining in there.
So it's our courthouse. We remember. I thought we already used to have to wait for somebody to.
I was gonna say, you didn't have to, but.
I had to wait. You remember?
I was like, but they were, the building maintenance was based at the courthouse.
Yeah, but I still remember the old days. For some reason.
I just remember unlocking the office door, but.
Okay, good job.
So,
I think they still let them open. They know when they're going in, and they know when they're leaving.
What's going in, what's going on?
Because if we get everybody,
it can be first one out when it closes.
right,
Because
because
you can lock it from the inside, or so that people can get out, so nobody can get in.
Do they have to use a special key or can they use just the key they've got?
it's a special key, it's a special
Then
key
you
for the
use
courthouse.
Like for the handle bar?
Right, you use
Yeah,
that,
that's just the Allen wrench.
if that's hanging there.
Yeah.
What's that in it? Well, then,
Listen. So,
I think this is a problem everywhere.
Really?
Oh, I mean, yes.
so are you guys gonna,
I don't know the answers.
I gave my opinion.
somebody wanna make a motion, or wanna address it, or you just wanna,
Maybe motion you go tell them.
first one in, last one out?
That they can lock it up and, yeah.
That's fine. I just didn't,
Cause you don't let that in the agenda, so.
it's not really a motion, it's just that we're just making a decision and.
But I mean, what if, is that? Because he's working somewhere else, he's gotta come back just to do the doors.
Yeah.
Or, you know, when they do vacations in different standard, at different times.
So it's just first employee in and out.
But it's up, it's their discretion, so I'll do it. Let
Just,
them open.
they just need to make sure the doors are unlocked by whatever time.
If there's a snowstorm and we leave early, does somebody have to come in and close it up because of that? Would they be responsible?
We don't close early, Kevin.
Well, I mean, they have snowstorm, ice storms.
Oh, I suppose we could leave it open and just let people have a free.
Alright,
There's no easy answer to that, so.
Sure there'll be issues,
yeah,
but motion adjourned.
moved and seconded to adjourn. Everybody have a great weekend.
Thank you.
And if we don't want to have a great weekend.
I don't care, you're gonna have one whether you like it or not.
And sign.
I'm hearing impaired, so when she starts talking, I can't hear what they're saying.
Yeah, sorry, she's just here today and then she won't be.
Okay. Just let me know.
You can ask them to speak up too.
No, it's not about loudness. It's about the interference of her sound. I can hear them, but I can't understand what they're saying.
Okay.
So that's what it is. Any sort of extraneous noise, just.
Yeah, she didn't have a choice today. Her daycare is closed for good, so. She's here today, then member of the public.
Well, yeah, but she doesn't understand what's going on, so it doesn't matter that she's here.
Sorry that you're so offended by that.
I'm not offended by it, I couldn't hear.
I said,
Do you get it?
I said, I'm sorry. You addressed that before when people couldn't hear.
I was trying to be polite, but I
Some of
just
that
couldn't
polite,
stand it.
I need to bring my dog.
She doesn't know.
Yes, she does.
She doesn't.
Kevin, you need
Where are
We have to do the Hamlet on.
Are we gonna have to, are we gonna have to do it, or is somebody going to do it?
It's 20 minutes, we're going to go.
20.
You were still talking, so you were fine.
You know, the first thing,
Nice on my face, you're fine.
the first thing they're gonna think is, oh, he just gave a pat on the back. Oh, no, wait, no, he was stepping on his neck. So we're just gonna let you die, Kevin.
I believe that. You know, say
You're pretty
that.
good. Good job.
That's it.
Should we go home? Should we go home and watch?
You know, that, I feel sorry for the two officers. They're brand new.
The rookies, we have a lot of-
You too.
Because they have.
You're good? Oh, sure.
You know, the two, they were brand new. So if they would have told their supervisor not to do that, they're gonna get fired.
Yeah, you tell your boss to go do something.
On your second or fourth day, I think it was. So it's like, they really know the situation.
What was the one guy charged with? Third degree? I'm not sure.
I think they upped that now, though.
What is third degree mean? I told somebody, but I didn't.
It's kind of like
Manslaughter?
No, I assume they like manslaughter.
So it's still pretty severe.
They moved it up to second degree, saying
Yeah.
they can't form during the act. And it's hard.
But you get a lot of.
But it's just unfortunate that one bad officer caused it. It was horrible, but yeah, who would have done that?
Yeah.
Okay. Just put my pocket down.
Ray, they have an insurance meeting, so not that I want you all to get out of here, but.
Yeah.